Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about how frustrated I was with Netflix and how every time I turn it on, I can't find anything to watch. I spend about a half hour browsing the menu and then I just give up and go back to YouTube. And apparently Dan Michaels here has some of the same frustrations that I have. And he brought up something that I hadn't even noticed, but apparently they got rid of the percentage match rating system, which looks at what your preferences are and tells you how much of a match to those preferences that the content you are browsing equals. And now it's just like this thumbs up, thumbs down thing, and none of us know what the heck to watch anymore. So let me give you an example of what my Netflix home screen looks like right now. This is my profile. I only watch stuff on my profile. My wife has her own profile and the kids have their own profiles, so we don't have any bleed through here. And what I get is stuff that I either watched a lot of or just doesn't appeal to me. So I do have a list that I maintain of shows that I watch frequently. I've got some comfort food on my Netflix, like the Star Trek series, like Enterprise and Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. I have The West Wing here, some more Star Trek. This was a show that was moderately appealing to me that I might have wanted to check out. A lot of times I don't invest too much time into a show until it's in its second season, so I know it's not going to waste my first season of viewership. I've been down that road before. And then something like this shows up. So House of Cards was something that I watched and liked in its earlier seasons, and I watched every episode of the entire show. Now, I didn't take it out of my list, but nonetheless, shouldn't Netflix be smart enough to know that I've seen the whole series here and I may not want to see it in here anymore? So it really should not be showing me this thumbnail right now. I thought it would be better to get another example like Colony here, where we've got some new episodes of something that I had previously expressed interest in. So that was the first thing that I noticed. And then as you scroll down here, it's got new releases, but I don't know if these are being targeted to me or not. My assumption is not. This Dead to Me, I'd have to browse into it to see what it's about, but it doesn't look appealing to me on the surface of its thumbnail. The Avengers, maybe. Lucifer, definitely not. I have no idea what Wine Country is about. You know, maybe the Ted Bundy thing might be of interest, but really, I'm not understanding what is here. Is this stuff that it thinks I might like, or is this stuff that it just wants me to watch because they spent a lot of money producing it? And then you get into this trap. Endless scrolling and scrolling and scrolling of different categories. No idea as to what is what here. Half this stuff, even more than half of it, doesn't appeal to me at all. Here's something I already watched, the Fire documentary. I'm not interested in that. Maybe I'll watch the Walt Disney thing, but you get an idea here. It's just like a bunch of stuff, and I can't figure out what I should watch, and I have too many choices. Now, take a look at what YouTube does. Now, they've been getting a lot of flack because they don't give you every subscribed video in your feed on the home screen of your device or your web browser here. But nonetheless, I can tell you that just about every one of these videos on this front page is something that I would likely watch. And every one of these appeals to me. Even if I clicked on the Show More here, there's a good chance that 85 or 90% of the recommended videos are something that I can sit down and watch right away without having to browse too much. And that's the one thing that I love about YouTube, that when I sit down and turn it on, there's a good chance that it's going to put something in front of me that I can watch immediately and fill that 8 or 10 minutes of time that I might have. And I much prefer to be watching something and being informed or entertained immediately, as opposed to having to shop around for an hour to find what I'm looking for. And I think what's worked with YouTube is that they have significantly reduced the number of choices you have to things that it knows have a high likelihood of being watched. And one of the cool things about how this has been working is that there are some channels where I watch every video every time. So I love my friend Metal Jesus Rocks. I love every one of his videos. It always puts them in here for me every time. The Game Chasers and LGR and a bunch of other folks that I watch, those are always popping up right away. And I'm able to get to those without having to hunt around all that much. And I also enabled notifications on those channels just to be safe. And I can tell you, just my experience with YouTube is just always better because I'm not wasting time with it. I'm watching all the time more than browsing. And Netflix used to be so good at this. They used to be able to, really hone things down and recommend things to you based on your preferences and your prior reviews. I remember spending a lot of time early on rating some of the movies that I liked a lot, even ones I didn't rent from them, so that would improve its recommendations. And it used to be better than what it is now. And I think they're under pressure here to show you the value of your subscription by surfacing all of this stuff that they've produced themselves, that it's taking, I think, the personal touch away from it to the point where your personalized recommendations are no longer important. And I think that's going to be harmful for Netflix moving forward, because if they're competing against YouTube for my attention, I am giving YouTube just much more of my attention because it's giving me things that I actually want to watch, and it's a much more efficient viewing experience for me right now. And hopefully YouTube will continue moving in that direction, because even though you may not see every video I produce, it will probably surface the topics that I have made that most appeal to you, and that's better for everybody in the end run. And I think sometimes less choice is actually more.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold level supporters, the Four Guys with Quarters podcast, Tom Albrecht, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit lon.tv/s.